So I'm busy learning about stress in the sports psychology course that I'm doing. The thing that I'm really enjoying is how much the psychology of what we do, how much we can change it, which I think is very cool and very empowering. Our mind is just so radical. And the one thing that is really giving me so much hope is this notion of stress and our perception of stress. So when we're stressed, the definition is that something is expected of us and we don't believe that we have the capacity to fulfill it. And that causes us stress. If you think of something that causes you stress, think of how it fits within that definition. What's magical is that we can change that perception. Think about the South African rugby team and how they reframed the stress of playing and winning and the pressure that they were experiencing to win again. They were able to change that perception for themselves. So the stress, they looked at that stress and they said, well, pressure is a privilege. You know, the people in South Africa have real stress. This is not stress. We have control over the way stress affects us. These don't go into extremes and be like, oh, I'll never feel stress again. We need to feel stress. Stress is not a bad thing. If we can just adapt the way we perceive that stress, even if it's just by like a tiny kink, it can make all the difference. If there's something that is causing you stress, check in with your perception. Check in with how you're perceiving that stress. Psychological variables, say worries, decision-making, and interpretations of bodily responses. And that's what gets me so excited. You need to understand yourself. And very often we don't understand ourselves. So for example, I have a old injury and I'll get a sharp pain in my ankle or my knee and my brain immediately goes, something's wrong, and I go into a spiral. And that's because my interpretation of that bodily response has been hardwired because I've been injured. I went to a physio, I've had all the tests, everything is fine. My knee and my ankle that were injured are stronger than my knee and my ankle that were not injured. So I had this perception that they were weak. So my reaction to my bodily response has always been like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong, mayday, mayday. Now I'm working on that psychological response and I'm going, I feel a sharp pain. It doesn't mean something is bad. It doesn't mean something's wrong. And it doesn't mean that something is broken. I go, oh, it's a muscular pain. Oh, my muscle is working. And by just adapting my perception of that bodily response, slowly starting to build this new relationship with that sharp pain. That's so cool to me that our perception is the filter through which we look at things. It's what we believe is true. And it's the thing we can change. So cool. Check in with yourself. If you are finding that your thoughts are taking you in a direction, go one step above that and go, what is it I believe that is the filter through which I'm going to get to this thought? What is my perception that is filtering this thought? And when you get to that, oh my gosh, and you can change that, forget about it. You'll be unstoppable.